Here we go. Here we go.
You stop making noise.
Oh, hi, Patricia. How are you?
Wait a minute. How did she get
Good
on so
Saturday
quick?
evening, everyone. She's on YouTube. Hello. Come on in, everybody. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Let us know that you are here. This is Jen with Jen's Den Art, along with my husband, Michael.
I'm with Jen's Den Art too.
He's sitting right there on the side of me. He's going to be checking your comments as we go live today. And we talk about painting. We talk about painting today. Hello, Francisco and Elizabeth. How are you? How are y'all? Hi, Miss Laura. You are a new mini den member, aren't you? I'm trying to get away from using tribe. I want to get away from using the word tribe, and I'm trying to say y'all are den members since this is my den. I'm drinking iced tea today, by the way. If y'all were wondering, because I always get that question, what are you drinking? What are you drinking? Hello. Hi from Missouri, and Leslie is here, and Martha is here. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Hello from Georgia. Hi, Miss Tracy.
And Rebecca and Laura.
Oh, okay, Miss Laura. You are a full den member.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I have y'all all written down who has joined so far. I'm going to give y'all a shout out. Miss Laura. Let's see. Laura Quickle. I have you down, don't I? Oh, yes, you are a full tribe sister or den mem. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get used to that.
Gabby wants to know that tea that you're drinking is from Long Island.
No, it is. What is it called? Oh,
get it, Long Island.
Yeah, I get it. No, I thought y'all were really serious. It's green tea. It's a green tea. Okay. Miss Joan Blair has joined us in the tribe, and Miss Sherry Russ, congratulations, you are a den member. Miss Deborah Waller is a mini den member, and Miss Pam Wortman is a den member, and Miss Jennifer Domini is a mini den member. And we have about 6 or 7 more. I will give y'all shout outs as well. Thank y'all all so much for coming on in here today and being a part of what we have to do. And so I'm just going to give another shout out today to see, just to go over what some of y'all have been working on. None of these are going to work. None of those. So let's see. Let's look at what is going on here. There we go.
Hello, Cassandra from Michigan.
There I am right now. Okay, so Miss Nona Fowler. Miss Nona Fowler has been a part of the den for what, Miss Nona? Maybe, I don't know if Miss Nona's here today. She usually is on every live. Miss Nona has been a part for what, maybe 2 or 3 years?
3 years.
3 years?
I'm pretty confident.
Yeah.
3 years.
So shout out to Miss Nona for doing a great job on her pieces. We love to see all of y'all work. Miss Deanna Rosetta. Look at, oh my gosh, they are so good. I love them. I just love the way they look. They look amazing. Those colors, y'all, aren't they so pretty?
Hello, Sally and Polly and Trudy and Monica.
Had so much fun painting these, even though I really don't think they look exactly like a pear. They do look like pears. I just want to let you know, we're our worst critics, y'all. We're really our worst critics, right? Yeah. So Oh, Miss Phyllis, you got your package? Yay, I'm so glad. We've been giving away a lot of prizes lately, and people have been getting stuff mailed out to them, so I'm so glad that people are getting their stuff. Miss Laura Foster, I've been busy today trying to catch up before tonight's session. I did it. I am not too impressed with my flowers. If I had more time, I would completely redo. Absolutely. They are beautiful. You are doing a great job. Don't stress over it. Oh, look, you did a lot. Look, all the stuff. I'm so proud of you, Miss Laura. You like went back and watched everything. That is what I love. Miss Anne-Marie Wilkins. Miss Anne-Marie has been painting with us in our group, in our membership for a little while, Miss Anne. You've been with us for a while. I want to thank you so much for being here. Those flowers are beautiful.
Jen, I want to give a shout out to the land down under. We have Rhoda and Jane on from Australia.
Hello, hello. Miss Faye, they're beautiful. I love them. You may not think so, but we all think so. We think they're beautiful. My iPad's not. Oh, there we go. Okay. I think my pears may look more like figs. Miss Jane says her pears look like figs. I don't think. Oh, they do kind of look like figs, but I think they're gorgeous. Even if they do look like figs, aren't they awesome? They're just beautiful. I love them. I love them. I just want y'all to know that at night I go through and I scroll through almost every single picture that you post, and it just makes me smile when I see all of your work. Look at Miss Deb Tish.
Hello, Marianne.
This looks like a watercolor. Miss Pamela Wright.
Good. I like that.
Background is beauty. Did you use watercolors? Yes, it is a watercolor painting. Okay, so we're not painting in watercolors. We're painting in acrylics. So I'd like you to try, Miss Pamela. I'd like you to try in acrylics and see what happens.
It is pretty.
It is. It's beautiful. Okay, and then Miss Gary, or I don't know, it might be Alice. I'm not sure if it's Gary Alice. Maybe the husband is Gary and the wife is Alice. I'm not sure. She posted a picture of herself, and I really want y'all to. If you want to post a picture of yourself, she lives in South Africa. Isn't that awesome?
Oh,
I love it. I know. So this is beautiful as well. I love it, Miss Laura. Miss Laura just became a member as well. Miss Laura is now a mini den member. Thank you, Miss Laura, for coming on in and joining us. And that was our last prize that we gave away. And I am going to shut this down and put it on the side. And we are going to get busy. Yeah. So let's look at what we're doing today, and let's kind of recap what we've been doing. So we're going to start working on painting this barn, okay? And if you were here yesterday, you remember that I said that we're not painting the exact photo. We are going to use the barn for a reference, but I'm going to change a little bit of it. And we are using the flowers for a reference as well. But I came up with a different template than the actual photo. So I added a few of those third rules and the S rule, and I moved the barn over just a little bit to the left so that it wasn't directly in the center. I moved it down to a horizon that's kind of like on one of those thirds. Okay. I put a little trail in here that kind of makes like a little S path. Okay. This is going to be the flowers. I'm going to move the flowers to right here. And then I may or may not put a tree. I don't know. It just depends on what's happening. Maybe the tree will happen. Maybe it won't. I'm really not sure. But this is just a guide for me and what I wanted to do. And so then what we did was we transferred it over. I showed you how to use the transfer paper, and I showed you how to use chalk on the back of your paper if you don't have transfer paper. Some of you have said that you do not have a printer. Okay, so if you do not have a printer, then I'm going to do a quick lesson on how to get that born a little more accurate. You have a question?
Heard from Cindy, someone asked.
No, I've not heard from Cindy. Cindy is MIA. So I don't know. Have y'all heard from her? I have not heard from her. I don't guess they have internet or something, or I don't know. I'm not really sure what's going on. Okay, so let's just do a quick lesson on the born drawing. Okay, so we're gonna back up a little bit. I feel like some of y'all need this. We're gonna back up just a little bit, and even though this is day 7 and we're gonna paint, I'm also gonna do just a little more sketching for our born. Okay, and this is going to be really easy. It's not going to be hard at all. The first thing that you would need if you wanted to do this sketching pretty good is you're going to need a little ruler. Okay, I'm going to put a dot on the left side of my painting. This is called 1-point perspective. I'm going to do a really quick lesson on 1-point perspective. Okay, and what I'm going to do is over here, I'm going to draw it like really big so y'all can see what I'm doing. I'm going to draw the bottom of the born, okay, just like a rectangle. All right, and then I'm just going to put the top of the born like that. Okay, so that's the front of the born. This is just the front of the born. I'm not really teaching you how to draw that. That's pretty self-explanatory. You've got a rectangle, and then I put a dot up here so that I know where my center is. And then these 2 areas here kind of makes my angle go a little more out like that. Okay, but here's what I really want to show y'all. I am going to take my ruler, and this dot right here is my vanishing point. Okay, it is my vanishing point for my born here. So what I'm going to do is anywhere that I know that I have a line that I'm going to draw, I am going to make sure that I draw that line to that vanishing point. Okay, you don't have to draw it all the way because my born isn't really that long. Okay, my born isn't really that long, but this point right here is very important for me to get my angles right for my born. Daddy, I am sweating.
Okay, the ceiling fan
Give me
and the air conditioner's coming down.
Yeah. Okay. So this little dot right here, it's like 100 degrees here, y'all. It's like heat wave century.
Well, the heat index is over 100 or around 110.
Okay. So this dot right here, for every one of these angles, I'm just going to make a line. I'm going to have another angle right here at the end of the born, right at like where the roof starts. Okay, and then also right here at the bottom of the born, I'm going to have that same angle. I'm going to go to that vanishing point. All right, so that's how I know how to draw the side of the born. Now, none of this is important. I'm going to show y'all right here because I don't really want my born to be that long and skinny. That born looks like it's a mile long. But the vanishing point that I used is very important to draw all those angles. So maybe my born's going to stop here, okay? Maybe it's going to stop here and we're not going to see any more than that because like the tree is going to be in the way and all that kind of stuff. So after you get the angles right, this right here is not important. But then right here on the ends, I'm going to show you how important those pieces are too, depending on how far you're going with your born. So whatever angle this is right here, this is kind of like, I don't know if you can see it, but this is kind of like a geometry lesson. This is a quadrilateral, okay? It's like a parallelogram. It's got 4 sides. Don't look at anything else but this little piece right here. So whatever angle this is right here, you're going to want this to have the same exact angle. You're going to want those 2 lines to be parallel to one another. Okay, and then I'm going to continue that as I go to the next piece. The next piece here, I'm looking at just this. Okay, this one has 4 sides. All right, whatever angle I had here, I'm going to have the same exact angle. Let's see where I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to have the same exact angle there. Okay. And then the last one, whatever angle I have here, of course, I'm going to have the same exact angle there. So that is going to draw my born. That's going to give me the right perspective of the morn, okay, of the born. The words do not come out right. So here's my horizon right here, and then I could just go from there. All right. So does anybody have any questions on that? No questions?
None so
All
far,
right.
but I am a little behind you.
No, that's okay. Are you telling me this, or is someone else telling me this?
I'm telling you that. I have no questions that have popped up thus far.
Oh,
However, I am a little behind you.
your comments are coming up a little later. Okay, I got you. Okay, I didn't know what you meant. You are a little behind me. You know I'm a math person. Everything is black and white.
Everything is literal.
Everything is very
Fabulous
literal.
lesson. Not till I start drawing will I have questions.
Yes.
So very helpful.
Yes.
No, we talked about you. I wonder if your ears were burning.
Okay, so what we are going to do today is we're going to start working on our born. And I am going to take the easier route on this one. I'm not going to take the harder route. Basically, what I'm saying is we're not going to do the whole blocking in. We are going to work more on from the back of the painting to the front of the painting. Okay, we're going to work from the back of the painting to the front of the painting. And so the first area that I want to paint, let me turn this light on right here, is I'm going to look all the way in the back of the painting, and y'all probably know because I already started putting the paint on my palette. You can see what I'm going to start working on. Okay, so I started with my blue. And I'm going to create a sky. And
Question.
Okay.
Is the barn you drew in the template 2 point perspective?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Is it 2-point perspective?
Oh yeah. Is template 2 point perspective?
No, it's 1-point perspective.
Oh.
No, we did not do a lesson on 2-point today. We just did the 1 point. Because I only had 1 point that I was going to with my angles. That's why it's called 1-point perspective. Okay. All right. So I'm taking a filbert brush. Remember, we talked about filbert and we haven't really used the filbert very much, but we're going to use it today. And I am going to first dip my paintbrush. I'm going to try to get y'all to see the water just a little bit there. Dip my paintbrush in the water, tap it off. I use old rags. This is an old t-shirt. I use old rags, and then after the t-shirt gets full of paint, I just throw it away. I don't even try to wash it. Anyway, it doesn't come off. You can't wash it in the washing machine and it come off. So I'm going to grab some blues and some whites, and I'm going to make a really pretty kind of like a light blue. I don't want anything really strong. But I am going to grab a whole lot of paint, okay? And notice that I'm pulling that paint in to get my paintbrush full of paint. And I'm just going to start coloring. I say coloring everything in, but I mean, I'm really just blocking everything in. And I'm going to go over my tree here because I'm not even sure if I'm going to paint my tree or not. So the beginning of a painting is kind of the boring components of the painting because you're just starting to put in that first layer. And so it's kind of like a lot of, it's just kind of a lot of downtime in your painting. You're not really creating anything yet. You're just putting that color in there. And so there's kind of like 4 or 5 steps to a painting. Okay, there's your underpainting, and then there's your sketching. And then there's your blocking in your colors, which is kind of like what we're on, probably, if you want to call it step 3. I would say we're on step 3 right now. We're just going in and we're giving everything that first layer.
Jen, do you always wet your brush?
Yes, I always wet my brush, or else it does not move around well at all.
Okay.
Try it without wetting your brush, and I guarantee you'll come back and say, yep, I understand why you wet your brush.
Right on. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Who asked that, baby?
Shelly Frieda.
All right, Miss Shally. I hope I helped you out. Especially with acrylic paints, and in this kind of weather that we're having, and we just turned the ceiling fan on, and the ceiling fan's going to dry my paint out as well. It's going to dry it out pretty fast. But I can keep my paint wet. No, baby, it's fine. I can keep my paint wet. There's other artists that do this. I see them do this. I watch Angela Anderson. I don't know if y'all have ever watched Angela Anderson paint. She is an acrylic artist, and she does a lot of YouTube. She's like a YouTube painter, and she takes her little spray bottle and she mist her paints to keep them wet. And I like to do that too, because it really does help. Now, sometimes I'm not really worried about that, because I like to have texture in my artwork, in my paints. And so sometimes I'm not really interested in getting just a smooth surface. If your paints are really moist, you get only a smooth surface with the paints. But if you keep your paints a little on the, what I call it is the thicker types of paints, then you can actually get some texture in your painting. And that to me is super, super cool. Okay, so our sky is only the beginning of our painting. And right now it looks like it's just going to be, like a totally solid blue sky, but it's not. All right. We are going to change some things about it as we go. And I mean, you really can't even really see the sky in the photo. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play around with the sky just a little bit more. And I'm going to kind of use those rules where the further you are from the horizon, like the further back, your sky is normally a little bit lighter. And then as you go up, your sky starts having a lot more color to it. And it just depends. Y'all know, especially if you've been painting for a while, your skies, there's so many different skies in this world that you will see that you can't really go wrong with just kind of painting your own sky. You don't have to follow an exact photo, because clouds, every time you look up in the sky, the clouds look completely different, So we're going to put a few layers on here. Can you see that even though I painted, you can still see the orange behind my painting? I love that look. It's just one of the things that I really like about my paintings when I use this undercoat. So I just wanted you to know that it's okay if those colors still show through. Okay, I'm going to clean that paintbrush off. clean it off. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to look at my photo and I'm going to say, I like the colors of, let me go back to my photo. I like the colors of the ground. The ground looks like it's kind of like a, maybe like a lime greeny color. It looks like it might be like late springtime when this picture was taken.
Definitely a lime greeny.
Lime greeny. One of our painting sisters sent me this photo or posted it in our group, and it's from a friend of hers that took it.
Beautiful photo.
And she gave us permission to paint it, so we're using it as our reference.
Good point, Kathy. And what size is that filbert brush?
I just grabbed the first thing I saw. What is anything like, I'm gonna say maybe a 1/2 inch wide. Yeah, this is about a 1/2 inch wide. This is exactly a 1/2 inch wide. This one is maybe a little bit smaller than that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/8, 6/16. So what is that? 3/8 wide. This says this is a Fine Touch number 14. And this says this is a Royal and Langnickel number 6. Zen Royal and Langnickel Z43T number 6. So we've discussed that before. The numbers, I don't know if the numbers are gonna, the only way the numbers are helpful is if you buy the same exact brand of the paintbrush. Okay, so that's the two that I have hanging around here, my 2 filberts that I'm using today. Okay. All right, I'm actually going to switch to a flat. And this is a large flat. I'm going to go a little bit smaller. This is a number 14. I think that's going to be good because I'm working on kind of a small surface. So I don't really need that big of a paintbrush. But the larger your paintbrush is, the more you allow yourself to stay kind of loose. So, okay, so now I'm using sap green. Okay, I'm using sap green, and that's a little bit too light. So I'm gonna start blocking in this bottom area here. I'm gonna go over my little trail and need it to be a little wet. I'm just gonna block everything in. I'm just covering it all up right now is basically what I'm doing. No, it's pretty quiet today, huh?
Yes, Deb said, love the spray technique on the sky paint. Thank you, Mom, India. That may have been a autocorrect.
That's why I didn't say anything because I'm like, okay, Mom, India.
Thank you, Mom, India. So.
You're welcome, Deb. Okay, so that's my first layer of my my greens. I just went with all one big flat green layer here, pretty dark. And then now I'm just going to come back in with a second layer, and I'm going to add some yellow. So I'm kind of making like a medium color, a medium tone green. Okay, and I'm just going to start. That's a little bit too bright. So I'm going to add just a little bit of the darker. I'm just going to start adding. Yeah, you're going to have to turn the fan off, baby. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, no
It's
worries.
just way too dry. Everything's drying really, really fast.
All right, no worries. Turn the air conditioner down. How's that?
Okay, that might work. We went outside today and it was,
It was great at 6 o'clock this morning, but holy
Yeah.
moly.
after a while, it was like, okay, we need to go inside and take a break.
Hey, Bonnie.
So we bought this house. We moved into this house in December. And we discovered later on, after the purchase of the house, that they have an irrigation system in the yard. And we could not get it to work until just this week because everything is so dry around here and hot. So we started fooling with it, and like we have sprinklers all over the yard, and we're like, woohoo. So we've been trying to figure it out, but the irrigation system, the house is 15 years old, and the irrigation system is 15 years old. So some of the roots from some of the trees have grown into the pipes, and so that's a whole nother situation that we just realized we may have to deal with. So, or we could just not use the irrigation system, or just use some of it.
Separate water lines.
Yeah, it's a separate water line. We knew we had it when we bought the house, but we didn't think it worked. I guess is a better way for me to say it.
Oh, it works.
But it does work. Most of it works. Some of it is, you could tell the pipes aren't working right.
Right.
But okay, so that's the beginning. I'm not going to touch my barn just yet at all. I don't want to deal with it yet. I want to deal with my landscaping. Okay. So we have a bunch of trees over here, or bushes. And when you look at the photo and you see all of those trees and bushes, this is where we're going to start using a little bit of our blocking, okay? Our darker colors and our lighter colors, because we have to make sure that we get that depth in our trees. So this is going to be the part that's going to start giving you like all those little lessons that I taught you about. Some areas are darker, some areas are lighter, and so forth and so on. So when you look at the reference photo, one of the first things that you can see is we're going to start with the darker areas. And I'm going to start blocking in those darker areas. One of the first things you see is like right on the side of the barn, all right here. And I'm just using a flat brush. All right here. I'm going to start putting some darker colors in there. And my paint is not moving today at all because it is so hot.
Add some more water to it.
So the temperature of your house and your climate is going to have something to do with how your paint moves. Okay, so this is going to be, we're going to block this in kind of dark. I added some black to my colors. Okay. And I'm going to keep on going a little bit higher because I want to go.
It's already taking shape.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with a little bit of like a medium green. So I'm going to add just, you know what? I'm going to add just a little bit of red. Sorry, I know that was loud. I'm going to add just a little bit of red. And y'all know that the green and red is going to make
Blue.
No, the green and red, they're complementary colors of one another. So, yeah, I like that. All right, see how it's kind of that grayish, brownish color? It's actually kind of greenish too. So I'm going to add a little bit of that in there just because I like it. I like the way it looks. And I want to add a little bit of color in my painting. I don't want the painting just to be green, you know? I like to add some color to my paintings. So I'm going with a little bit of a medium tone. I'm adding a little bit of yellow. And I have to hold my painting down because I don't have it taped down. That's why you see my fingers over it. I'm going to go a little bit
Shirley had
higher.
a good comment.
What's that?
Try a dehumidifier to help pull moisture out of the air. It's supposed to make it feel cooler. I wonder if that would help this room with your paints.
Oh, yeah, maybe so.
Take the humidity out.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, in Montana, we had to have a humidifier.
Yeah, it was so dry.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm using
Hey,
I'm using a little bit of medium. Okay, instead of water, I'm using a little bit of medium. Remember we talked about the medium in one of our lessons? This is just a blending medium. That's all it's called. And it's allowing my paint, it kind of, water evaporates. It's evaporating so fast right now because our I guess our heat index or just the weather around here is so hot that my paint everything is just drying up so fast. So if I add this medium, it's kind of giving it more like it's not drying as fast. Okay. I guess that's how I need to say it. It's just not drying as fast. So notice that I have a second layer and I really like the little bit of orange that I've kind of added in there for a little fun. And I'm just going to add some just because I like it. Right kind of in the middle. I'm just adding. I mixed the red and the yellow together and I'm just adding a little bit. Now this is still just one of the layers. I have a lot of layers to do here. So, all right. So that's where I am so far. I'm going to clean my paintbrush off and I'm going to take a break and look at it and say, okay, it's not too bad. I do think that I've changed my mind about cleaning my paintbrush off. I want a little bit of those colors down here as well. Otherwise, there is too much of a contrast between the greens and then it doesn't look right. So now this is my first time painting this painting. So what you're hearing me do and say is because I'm experimenting as I'm going. So while I'm experimenting, I'm talking out loud what my thoughts are. All right. And I feel like I need a little bit of those same kind of brownish, greenish colors that I've decided that I wanted to put up here. I feel like I need a little bit of that down here because these two greens were kind of like they weren't working well together for me. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of this and I'm gonna grab just a teeny bit of white and see what happens. And I'm going to add just a little bit of medium. I also want you to notice how fast I move my paintbrush. Okay, I really like that. I added white to that same mixture. And what is my mixture? My mixture is some red, some green, and a little bit of yellow. And then now I just added a little bit of white to it. And I really like that color. It's kind of like an olivey green. It's not like a grass green. And so it makes me feel better about the colors that I'm using. I don't know. It feels like it's more pleasing to the eye. So just going to add a little bit of that in there. And I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. I'm going to clean my paintbrush off. Then I'm going to go back to the sky. And in the sky, I am going to go back to a filbert brush. Okay, I like to use a filbert brush, and we're gonna have a little bit of fun with a few clouds, just because I wanna give you a little lesson on clouds. So I'm gonna take my filbert brush, and I'm going to,
Filbert.
I'm going to go a little bit more into the white than I am the blue, because I'm focusing on clouds. And I'm just going to give y'all a little bit of fun with some clouds here. I like to create my clouds by, I have a little bit too much paint on my paintbrush, so I'm taking some off. I like to create my clouds by almost holding my paintbrush flat, not quite flat, but close to it, and just making a bunch of little circles. I hardly have any paint on my paintbrush. Do not have much at all, so I'm kind of like dry brushing. I'm not pressing hard at all. And I'm just adding a few little clouds up here. Make sure your paintbrush is wet so that it moves well. And I'm gonna make a little bit of a gray. Did you see what I just did? I grabbed, this is how, I wanna grab the very minimal, can they see my my palette right here?
They can, unless you paint with blow. You need to push it up a little bit.
Okay, so they can see where my paintbrush is right here, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's at the very bottom.
So all I'm doing is I'm pushing my paintbrush in, and I'm just tapping the black, and I'm pulling it out, and then I'm bringing it over here to my white, because I want very, very, very little on my paintbrush. And I'm gonna grab just a little bit more. Very, very little. Oops, that's almost too much. And I'm just trying to make like a gray. I'm gonna grab teeny bit of blue and bring it in there as well. And I'm gonna come back and just add a little bit of that darker color on this cloud. Okay, and then I'm going to switch up and add some more white. The key to getting your paintings to have that depth and look like you want them to look is layers. You have to give yourself patience, and you have to let it dry a little bit, and then you have to come back and add another layer. Now, I don't want to make a lot of clouds. I'm just making a few of them. I'm going to make this one come a little bit further out.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Shally, Cindy says she's just trying to stay cool.
Oh, they still don't have electricity?
I also messaged her and I invited her over. Cindy said, "Oh, that's so sweet." And Cindy said, "We have a generator going on right now with fans blowing on us. We bought a tiny window unit today and put it in the small bedroom. Hopefully, our propane bottle will last long enough tonight for us to sleep cool."
So wait, how did you get in touch with her?
I sent her an instant message.
Oh, so she has internet.
Well, she has her phone data, but there you have still our electricity.
Okay,
They're using a propane bottle to run the air conditioner and the fans.
gotcha.
So she does not have internet.
Okay. All right, I'm going to add just a little bit of a brightness, like the sun is coming through right above the trees. This is an addition that I decided I want to add to this. So I'm mixing yellow and white together. And I'm just gonna come right above the trees here. And I'm gonna try to blend that in just a teeny bit by not adding any paint on my paintbrush, but just kind of moistening up my paintbrush. So I cleaned my paintbrush off and I just got it kind of moist. Okay, I like that. Just a little bit. I just wanted a little bit of shine back here, a little bit of yellowy white back here. And I'm going to go back one more time on my clouds because they are disappearing on me. A little bit more white.
When Sally's in, it says video motion frozen. Is anyone else having those difficulties? Oh yes, you are frozen. Your painting is, not your face.
Yeah, I see it.
What's that all about?
I don't know. Can y'all still hear me? No?
Holly says yes, we can still hear you. So does Debbie.
Okay.
Give us just a second, guys. We're gonna work on that. Jen, is there something I can do?
Hang on. I'm gonna have to probably disconnect this camera and reconnect it. I'm not sure what happened. Let's see.
So we purposely have caused this to freeze because I want you to notice the angle of her brush. I'm just joking. Oh, now you're frozen on the camera there.
I think something's happening.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is. The browser cannot access your device. Hang on, let's see if we can fix it.